I'd like to welcome Kyle Nelson, who faces off against Billy Quarantillo next weekend. Kyle, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing great. The training camp has been great. We're just finishing up the last couple days of the training camp and then heading to Vegas.
Great. So going into your last fight, you were on a two-fight losing streak in the UFC, but you were able to earn a knockout that last time that we saw you. So talk a little bit about how you were able to rebound from that losing streak, and is there any bit of less pressure going into this one since you're coming off of a win?
Yeah, so I came off or entered the UFC on two losses there. The first one was kind of short notice in a different weight class. But I think it was kind of the same factors. It was kind of my mindset going into the fight, trying to be super exciting and trying to move forward and, maybe being a little too aggressive. So, yeah, going into my last fight against Polo Reyes, I just kind of calmed down. I had assumed that would be my last opportunity. You can't really lose three in a row in the UFC and expect to stay around. So I just kind of relaxed and just decided, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to have a little bit of fun with this one and, not be so urgent with it. And I think, that mindset and just how I went into it mentally was a little bit different from my other fights. And I think that was kind of the big difference in that one. And now that I've got that figured out, I think all my fights are going to be pretty similar moving forward.
Yeah, and that first fight that you had in the UFC, that was at 155, correct?
Yeah. So I took on it was like 3 days notice at 155.
Okay, and obviously you feel a lot more comfortable fighting at 145 compared to 55.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it doesn't take much. With a full training camp, I can make 145 no problem. Just on like it was super short notice and the opportunity was at 155, so I jumped on it.
hmm Do the media demands disrupt your training and preparation leading up to the fight at all?
No, they're not too bad. I mean, I'm doing two or three interviews a day right now, but everybody's been super cool with kind of working around my training schedule and I let them know a couple times I'm available and then we kind of make it happen.
That's good. So you're able to balance things out pretty well.
Yeah.
Good. What do you guys like to do for fun up there in Canada when you're trying to get your mind off of training and whatnot?
Yeah, so I like to do a lot of outdoor stuff. Especially I come from a small town, so I do a lot of hunting and four wheeling and outdoor stuff like that. But yeah, when I'm in training camp, I come down to the city. I do my whole training camp down here. So it's a lot of movies and stuff like that. I read a lot of books. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, it's I wake up, I train, I eat, I train again, I eat again, I train, and then I go to sleep. So it's it's there's not a whole lot of time or energy to really do much anyways other than maybe watch a movie or read a little bit of a book and then I fall asleep and do the same thing over and over again.
What's the weather like up there right now?
It's nice. It's been um I don't know what it's been like in the mid 20s here, which for you guys would be like maybe like 75, 78, maybe something like that. I don't know exactly how the conversion works, but yeah, it's been nice and warm and sunny and stuff like that. So I've been running outside every day, and yeah, it's been great.
Sweet. So what fight are you most looking forward to in the next coming weeks besides your fight, of course?
I think Khabib versus Gaethje. I think it's a super interesting fight, stylistic wise. I think how they match up. It's going to be very interesting to see what Khabib's going to do if he's not able to take Justin down, and if he's still going to be able to find a way to win, or if he does take Justin down, how well is Justin going to be able to scramble back up? Obviously, he's got great wrestling too. So I think it's just a very interesting matchup.
Yeah, that fight and definitely the Paulo Costa and Adesanya fight I'm looking forward to tremendously. Um, so what's your game plan for the 12th?
Yeah, so I mean, Billy's he's pretty good all around, but he's definitely more of a jits guy or a grappling guy. He's got okay wrestling, he's got okay striking, but where he excels is probably with his jiu-jitsu. But I think I beat him pretty much in all areas. I mean, I think my striking is way better, a lot cleaner than his. I've got more power. Again with my wrestling, more technical, more power. With the jiu-jitsu, again, I have more of a MMA style jiu-jitsu. It seems like he kind of comes from a more of a jiu-jitsu mentality jiu-jitsu, I think. Like less pressure, less urgency, less power, stuff like that. So I think it's really wherever I want to take the fight. The only spot he's got a chance is on the ground, so I have to be cautious down there. But I feel like, my jujitsu, my wrestling and stuff is more than enough to really squash him on the ground too.
Last one for me. What's your prediction for the fight?
I think it'll be a finish in the first round. It'll be a KO or a TKO. So it just depends on if he goes out from the first shot, or if I have to hit him a couple times with follow-ups.
Sounds good, Kyle. Well, that's all we have for you today, but thank you very much for stopping by, and we seriously look forward to seeing you fight.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me on.
Take care, man.
You too.